Mine's good. I'm good to go, buddy.
All right.
All right.
Welcome, everyone, to another episode of I Can Do This All Day. I'm Dan, the Part-Time Avenger, and with me, as always, is Mark, the Resident Jedi.
Hello there. So, kids, today we're taking it back. We're taking it back to some movies from our youth and some reboots or add-ons or prequel sequels, if you will. Today we watched Lightyear, and we want to talk about it.
So I have a question for you, Mark. When it
Go
comes
ahead,
to
buddy.
Lightyear, were you excited about seeing this?
Excited is a very complicated word when it comes to pop culture in my life right now, right? Got the little guy at home, so if you're asking me if I ran out and saw this in the theater, my answer is no. It wasn't something I was like, oh man, can't wait, first night, really excited about the crowd interaction. Not something I was geeked up on like that. I treated it like I do most Pixar movies, where I was like, I will see this when I can stream this because I know it'll be here in 45 days.
Okay.
We did talk about possibly renting out a theater to take my son to, because during the pandemic, it was inexpensive. It was like $100. I looked, it was closer to like $500, and I was like, streaming it is. And actually watched this the first time with the little guy, trying to get him to sit through it. And I was more excited for that than the actual movie. And we'll talk about why.
Okay. So you saw it in streaming, not so much excited, but you were more excited about the prospect. Okay, I get it. I actually saw this in the theaters. I saw it opening weekend. It was an early Saturday show or a Sunday show. I can't remember which one. But yeah, I mean, I think it's kind of the same thing with your situation where my two boys, my youngest especially, was just like, or still is, I should say, obsessed with Toy Story, and the fact that Buzz was going to have a movie, he was all for it. So he was super excited about it. And actually, there was a day that I misspoke where I said we were going to see it opening night, and for somehow he knew that it came out on a Friday. It's like, oh, not opening night, but opening weekend. So we're going to see it tomorrow, buddy. And he was like kind of upset about that. But no. What about, I don't know if you got a whole lot into the whole controversy of Tim Allen not voicing Buzz Lightyear. What did you think about that?
I didn't care. I enjoy Chris Evans. I figured there was some drama with Tim Allen behind the scenes, knowing that Tim Allen goes back and forth between being somebody that I enjoy and somebody that's just kind of a jerk, right? So I was just like, he probably pissed somebody off. The explanation they gave for it about it being the movie based on the guy and it having different voices, I totally bought into. Like, that happens. That happens with Toy Story toys. Did you know that your son's Woody doll doesn't have Tom Hanks's voice?
It does.
It does not. It has his brother's voice.
Really?
Tom Hanks's brother does all the video games and toy things. He talked about it in an interview on Grant Norton once.
Oh wow, he sounds exactly like him. That's pretty good then.
Yeah, it's his brother Jim Hanks.
Good old Jimmy Hanks.
Jimmy Hanks.
I wonder what type of check he's pulling in. Not good enough.
I mean, but you say not good enough. Jim Hanks is out earning you and I, guaranteed. Guaranteed.
Yeah, I guess.
Jim Hanks has more than mediocre podcast money. Let's be honest. Basically for doing an impression of his brother.
It's funny, like, for the different types of voices that were used, like, I didn't give a fuck but this is like a PG rated movie. I'm gonna drop F bombs throughout this entire podcast, but I don't give a fuck about Tim Allen. I mean, I really don't. Like, I get it. I get it where it's like, oh, that's kind of a bummer that he's not going to be Buzz Lightyear. But the sheer outrage of people saying, not my Buzz. My Buzz is Tim Allen. And correct me if I'm wrong. I think even Tim Allen kind of spoke out about that to where he was not so happy. And it's like, that's not Buzz Lightyear. It's like, what? So something must have happened to where, like, or either that or they just never considered him because, like, you're old as shit, you're a liability, you're going to say something wrong politically. Let's go with Chris Evans, America's ass.
They gave a reason for it. Like it is such a non-issue for me that I literally could care less. They don't even sound that different.
No, not really.
Like you put the voice, the face moving, and it's one of those like mental things where I just heard Buzz Lightyear, man. That's it. It's not like they made him British or some shit like that. It's not like they got Cumberbatch to do it and he was talking about penguins.
I was actually disappointed there was no Spanish speaking in this one. I would have been like, that would have been icing on the cake for me.
Yeah, no, that was one reference they did not do. But yeah, no, it supremely didn't matter to me. It didn't matter to like the 100th degree of me not giving a shit. I had zero fucks to give for Tim Allen's voice.
Good for you, because I felt the same way. And I don't know, for any of our listeners who were upset that Tim Allen wasn't voicing, or you were very vocally against Chris Evans, please comment. I'd like to hear about it. That's just one of those things where, what is your reasoning? Is it just that nostalgia thing? Because I get it if it's nostalgia, but I implore you, don't be so tight about that stuff, because as we get older, the characters and people we know that voice those characters are getting old as shit, if not dying.
I would not be as morbid about that. I'd probably, somewhat agree, but for those of you that are all pissy about Tim Allen, he's coming back in the new Santa Clauses. So just chill out. Chill out. You get to see his face. You wouldn't even see his face in this. It's not that big of a deal. For all we know, the last Toy Story movie could have been Jim Hanks, and you'd still have no idea. Because the guy's been doing the voice of Woody since 1995. Legitimately, every Toy Story video game has been Woody. Has been Jim Hanks.
So with Tim Allen, did you expect like some type of cameo or voice cameo from him?
No. Why?
I thought they were going to try and pull some Marvel thing where, Tim Allen's not involved. He's not Buzz Lightyear. Actually, who I thought Tim Allen might be? Zurg. I thought they might bring him in as Zurg, but didn't happen.
I have very little opinions on the Tim Allen thing, though Tim Allen has been doing all of the video games since 1995. I would be more upset if they replaced Tom Hanks or something like that. I love Tim Allen, don't get me wrong. I enjoyed Home Improvement as a kid. I like to grunt when I see cars and things, but I don't know. I had zero fucks to give for Tim Allen. That's terrible. If it was Dan Aykroyd, I'd be very upset.
I bet. So let's go on down the character list. You got Captain America, Chris Evans as Buzz Lightyear. What are your thoughts on his performance?
Chris Evans can do no wrong at anything. I mean, even not another teen movie in his whipped cream bikini. I have no problem with Chris Evans, ever.
He was pretty flawless in this.
I
think, and I'll do a hot take on it. I think better than Tim Allen. Fuck you, Tim Allen. I don't know.
I mean, basically, you just heard his voice. It wasn't like He didn't pick a new voice for it or anything. It was just his voice.
Yeah.
And that was it.
It was a stern Chris Evans, though. It was very almost Captain America-esque.
Oh yeah, it was first Avenger Chris Evans.
Yeah.
For
it was
sure.
good. It was good. What about Kiki Palmer as Izzy?
I don't know her work outside of this movie, unless you're telling me she was in something I've probably seen, but I didn't have a problem with it. She didn't annoy me. Not the most annoying voice actor in this movie. So yeah, no complaints here. Take or leave, I guess, was my take on her. At least the voice actors, like the character as well. It's just like, okay, you're confident, but got kept out of things. Yeah, no. The real winner for me in this entire movie was Socks, voiced by Peter Soon. Is that how you say that last name? Am I on that?
Why are you asking me, man?
I don't know. Sohoon, Soon. I don't know.
Because I'm
Pete.
Asian. That's
My
why
guy
you're
Pete.
asking me.
No, because you are better at pronunciations than me
I've no idea how
due to
to
your
pronounce it.
Asianness. No, I'm kidding.
But
Socks rocked my socks. Best part of the movie. Absolutely. He was the Iron Man of the movie, if you will, to go along with Captain America. He figured out the time travel problem. He handled the whole deal. Socks is the winner here. Could not be happier.
It was really cool. I did not think that there would be a scene stealer from that character. I would have thought, just because I was taking a look at the voice actors and the cast before I watched the movie, like Taika Waititi was in this, so I was like, okay, well, obviously he's going to steal every scene, which he didn't. He was actually kind of his character of Mo Morrison. Not a big fan of that one. Not a big fan of that one. I thought
I
it was
was
kind of
the
annoying.
anti-fan of it. It might be Taika's worst role ever, and he annoyed me. For once, Taika, I was like, Taika, dial it back, bro. Dial it back.
Yeah, I wasn't a big fan of that character. Socks, though, freaking awesome. And you know that I wouldn't mind. I'm allergic to cats. I wouldn't mind having that robot cat, though. That's a pretty cool cat, and I'm surprised that that I don't know. Well, is there a toy with socks
Oh,
out
there
there somewhere?
is, and trust me, it will be mine. Oh yes, it will be mine. You won't have it though, because you don't like toys.
My son has the Buzz and the Zurg from the movie.
From this movie?
Yeah, yeah.
Nice.
But I did not see a socks. If there was one, I would probably get
Oh,
it.
there's like a talking socks.
Oh, is there?
Oh yeah, there's things. They even made like the helmet that like goes up and down kind of thing for it now. Like yeah, no, there's a lot of little kid cosplay stuff going on with this. So all about it.
So we both agree that Mo Morrison, voiced by Taika Waititi, sucks. Wasn't a big fan of it.
Sucks in a good bad way.
Okay.
Do you want to keep talking about them in general? Or do you want to
I
hear
don't know.
about my
There's only
issues?
one Space Ranger in this movie, so.
Oh, touche. Well, there's two.
Well, yeah.
There's two.
But Darby Steele, the convict, essentially, that's what she was. That the old lady. It wasn't an old lady.
I found it funny enough. The gender ambiguous. I didn't care. It was like the old prospector, but on the side of the good guys in the Western movies, right? Well, I just want to be out on my prospect. It was funny. I didn't mind it. Way better than Taika. If that character wasn't there, Taika's annoyingness in this movie would have made me turn it off almost.
Yeah, I would say that character is better. But
yeah, Darby. Yeah. Plus, better name Darby Steele.
Buzz Lightyear as Zurg. What did you think about that?
Do you want to get into the twist now?
Might as well.
So that was so unfulfilling for me.
Did you want it to be Buzz, or I mean his father?
No, I didn't care about the father thing. Make it an alien, make it something. Make it Woody. Whatever. I was so I was like, really? They stole that from somewhere. Like that plot has happened somewhere before.
Oh, maybe. I don't know. It should have been his father, though. That's
I mean, if
where
you go by Star Wars rules, yes.
if you go by Toy Story 2, yes. It was in Toy
Okay.
Story 2
Yeah, it
that he
was. It
says
was.
he's his father.
Mm.
And I wasn't willing to oversee that. And that's why, I thought it was really clever that he said, Dad? Although it doesn't make sense to that particular story, it makes sense the way that they explained it. But of course, if you're trying to get some familiarity from the Toy Story movies, then yeah, not even fulfilling it whatsoever. But yeah, I mean, he was just an old, grizzled Buzz. And it wasn't really that bad that he was just trying to do his mission. I don't know. I don't know if it's that much of a problem.
Yeah. Yeah. Um, I just realized what movie where the main character ended up, the big villain was the dad, and it was Shang-Chi. Like they just did this in a Marvel movie. Ready to go fight his dad.
And Star Wars
Oh
and
yeah.
everything else. A lot
Yeah.
of movies did. It wasn't like it's not like they're really doing anything new. I mean, I wasn't necessarily expecting. I was expecting it to be his dad, so I don't have a problem with Buzz being Buzz. It's kind of a nice little twist on it, but some people were not happy with that twist.
Yeah. I don't know. The main and future self thing has been going on a lot recently. Like you got like Looper, the movie where they made Joseph Gordon-Levitt wear all of that face makeup to look like Bruce Willis. Um, Meet the
The Lego.
Robinsons.
We meet the what?
Meet the Robinsons, where he ends up meeting his future self.
I guess never saw that movie. I don't even know what that is.
It's a Disney movie.
Oh,
Um,
okay. Yeah, Lego Movie did that as well too. I think
Lego
it was
movie, The Atom Project,
yeah.
which is something we should probably talk about in this podcast at some time. I mean, the new JJ Star Trek did it. X-Men Days of Future Past. Even 2001: A Space Odyssey. I don't know
Never
if you've ever
finished
seen
that
that
movie.
one. Yeah, it's there's some things there that I it felt too familiar. The Zurg twist. I mean, it was great and all, but it was also like it was anticlimactic for me. I was not excited about it.
I mean, would it have been any better if it was just some rando?
I feel as though Pixar could have done better. I feel like there's a way to put another Toy Story reference into it and make it better.
Like his father.
Like his father, what if it was Rex? What if it was
But
a dinosaur?
people would have been I would have been pissed about that because in the opening credits of this movie it says this is the movie that Andy watched,
Mm-hmm.
which people were upset about as well too.
What
I
if it
was
was a
fine.
weird Mr. Potato Head alien?
Then it wouldn't have been a movie that Andy watched. It wouldn't have made sense. What you're saying right now makes zero sense, and it would make the people even more upset, even those that wanted Tim Allen.
I feel like they're already upset. I feel like, yeah, they're already upset.
Not as upset if Rex was Zurg.
You never know, man. You never know. I don't know. It didn't have to be Rex. It needed to be something. It needed to be something that wasn't future Buzz or alternate Buzz. It was as anticlimactic as the end of Doctor Strange, where he fights Doctor Strange.
Okay.
At least for me.
Okay.
At least for me. And there were a few things where I was a little like, man, with this movie. Like the Space Ranger lightsabers, but the shitty version.
Really?
Like,
You didn't like those?
I just thought it was stupid.
Man. Okay.
Like, why do you have that and not the arm laser? That was his thing.
Which he did have the arm laser.
At the
later.
end,
Yeah.
it was like a future state thing, not a standard issue thing.
But you can't complain about it when he had it later on.
Yeah, I can. I complain about whatever I want.
Uh,
I loved
illogical.
it. There were many things that I enjoyed. The hypocrisy is strong in this podcast, Dan.
I know, right?
I mean, there were a lot of things that I loved, a lot of Easter eggs, the shape of the ships and that kind of thing. Like I enjoyed it, right? Like you see where the merchandising for this movie would have gone. I think that I don't know. The lightsabers didn't work for me, the vibroblade or whatever the hell you want to call it. Swords. I was like, nah, dude, you're supposed to just have a fucking arm laser, bro.
I was on the complete opposite when I saw those weapons, and actually, I bought my son the toy with the little sword. I was like, that's weird, but that's pretty badass. And so when I saw the scene, like that opening action scene, I want to talk about that for a few seconds. That opening action scene, I was sold. I was like, cool. This isn't like a Toy Story movie, which we'll talk about, a little bit later on, but I was sold because I like that kind of action adventure thing. And it was
Mm-hmm.
pretty good action for being a animated movie. They had some like interesting cuts, and it was almost as if they were shooting this in real life because of the action cuts. Normally with animation, you could just do like a wide shot, let them do their thing, and that's what the animation is like. But they kind of crafted it with the cinematography aspects of the animation as well, which I dug. And Buzz was kicking ass. Both of them, all of them were kicking ass, with the exception of the rookie.
Yeah, Bill Hader sucked.
Yes.
No BDE for Bill Hader's Buzz Lightyear character. I don't know. I think the movie just hit me in a lot of weak ways, and that was why it wasn't working for me.
What about the action for you? Did you like
Oh, it
at that
was
beginning
the
scene?
the action worked. The action worked. The reason that I fizzle out about the action is because it is clear that Tom Cruise is a better pilot than Buzz Lightyear because he pulled off the pull up over a movie or over a mountain move in a movie, and Buzz Lightyear couldn't.
That is weird, right?
So
Like I wonder.
apparently they needed Buzz Maverick. Like they needed Pete Mitchell to fucking pilot that big old round turd in the sky.
So if Top Gun came out even earlier, would that make this movie look like a piece of shit, or was it because it came out so soon after Top Gun? Would you have an issue with it if there was more space between?
No, because it made Buzz like don't take this. It made Buzz like a huge failure.
Buzz is a fucking idiot.
Buzz the whole movie isn't a winner. He's 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 headstrong, not a team player. Fucks everything up for everybody multiple times and doesn't listen when they say, "Fucking stop it, Buzz. We're gonna make the fucking laser shield." He's like,
Then
"No,
that's
no, I'm going back to the future again."
but that's what Buzz is. And you have a problem with it?
I don't know. I see Buzz from the Toy Story movies as, you know, like the a high end moral compass versus shifty Woody who wants to throw him out a window.
Buzz is a freaking moron in all of the movies. Every single movie, he's a absolute idiot. That's why Jesse was in charge of everyone else at the end, not Buzz. So that's what I'm surprised that you say that, because like, yeah, Buzz is kind of like a moron in
But
all
why
facets.
does Andy like this movie? Buzz is a failure.
Because it's cool. It's space. Same reason why we like Luke Skywalker. Luke Skywalker is a whiny bitch in the
Then why
first
the fuck
episode.
doesn't Andy have Star Wars toys? All those toys, no Star Wars.
It's because Star Wars doesn't exist in that universe, man. You had Buzz Lightyear.
But Barbie does. Mattel exists, and Mattel makes toys,
Oh, was there a Darth
and
Vader in
Hasbro
Toy
does
Story?
too.
Was there a Toy Story in
Hmm.
Darth Vader in Toy Story?
Oh no.
I want to say there was. I mean, they make a reference to
They make
Star Wars.
references to Yeah, not he doesn't appear. Zurg is supposed to be the Vader,
Ah, okay.
like representative of it, but yeah, no, he does not appear
All right. Well,
in Star Wars.
either way, with Buzz Lightyear and the different types of toys that are out there in the universe, and I was completely fine with Buzz's shortcomings because he's a headstrong character stuck in his ways, and he just wants to play the hero. And he doesn't necessarily win as the hero. He needs other characters around him or other people around him as a support team, very much like Toy Story and all the Toy Story movies.
You know, who he needed Jim Hanks, possibly to voice the Taika part and be less annoying.
Yeah. All right, so let's go down the list again for the different characters. What about Alicia Hawthorne, Buzz's Space Ranger partner or commander, I should say?
I didn't mind her. I loved that she had this continuing faith, like maybe he'll figure it out this time. You know, help me, Buzz Lightyear. You're my only hope. Like I get it. I get it. What I don't get is this huge, oh my God part about her having a wife. Like it's the fucking future.
We're a closed-minded race, my friend. We are a
Yeah, no,
closed-minded race.
those people who are pissed off about that don't believe that there's other planets. They think that there's a man in the sky, so they need to calm the fuck down.
Hey, careful about religion. I
I
am deeply not religious, and I will jump on
understand
that bandwagon and shit
I
on it even
understand
more.
that. Yeah, no, we may offend our international listeners, those that listen in Vatican City. Sorry, I will not do 1,000 Hail Marys, because that's apparently a punishment that they do.
Hey, man, time is money.
Just,
Well, yeah, I mean, I liked that character, and honestly, that was probably a really good start to the movie because it made me feel something, and it was one of those things where it's like it didn't like I wasn't bawling in the theater, but I was like, oh man, his friend and his commander and his partner that he's been through Space Academy or Space Ranger Academy with is getting old, and life is passing him by, but they're getting a chance to enjoy all of their lives, and Buzz is just fixated on this one moment.
yeah, it was the Captain America story, just with no sex. I mean,
Yeah.
not that there was sex in the Captain America story, according to She-Hulk, but either way,
Did you see She-Hulk?
I didn't watch it. I just read the article about Cap's body count or lack thereof.
So good, dude. It's
It's on the list. We got to talk about it.
Yeah.
Listeners are going to be like, "Bro, get back to your roots and talk about a Marvel show, you dumbasses."
We're gonna talk about that. I am okay with not talking about Miss Marvel because I'm that into She-Hulk right now. Granted, it's only the first episode. I'm in. I'm 100% in.
Yeah, we'll talk through it when it's finished, and maybe I'll spatter some Miss Marvel in there too.
All right. So Alicia Hawthorne, I like that storyline. I like that character as well too. I thought it was a nice addition to give Lightyear some emotional depth, and I actually kind of felt for Buzz as he was coming back from each of his missions, and he fails again, and he sees her get older. He's happy, but also at the same time, he's like really fucking bummed that he can't win. He just keeps on failing and failing and failing. But
It's because he didn't listen to Socks. That was the only part of the movie that I thought had emotional depth, is their relationship. The rest of it was kind of tertiary. I think that Buzz is, well, we're gonna get back to the Space Rangers. Like, are you? They're not real. They're terrible. They're terrible. It's we need to get you in the suit. That's what the back half of the movie was. How can we get him to the suit? Is like episode 3. How can we cut off Anakin's arms and legs? Like, that's basically we had to get him to the suit. This is the whole point of the prequels. How do we get this Jake Lloyd kid into the Darth Vader suit? And the point of fucking Lightyear, how do we get him in the Buzz Lightyear suit?
I don't even know why they took him out of the suit, to be honest, unless it
Why
was
did they
just
make it a different suit? It should have just been white, green, and purple from the
Yeah.
beginning. What's the like? Did they magically invent paint? Like, what the fuck?
So going into the other characters, you got Ivan, the voice-activated virtual assistant.
I thought that was funny.
It was like for a couple times. I was
Yeah,
okay
it
with
was
it.
also an echo of an old trope of men don't ask for directions, which I was like, really? That's your joke?
It was a fine joke. My kids chuckled at it, and I thought it was funny a couple times, but not as much of a scene stealer as Socks, that's for sure. But what about Commander Cal Burnside? So after Alicia Hawthorne's passing, what did you think of Burnside taking over?
You mean Laser Shield?
Yeah,
I don't care about Laser Shield. I mean, it was a good character. I like that they kept the diversity up throughout. I was more impressed that the voice activated navigation looked like Hal from 2001: A Space Odyssey, right? Just the red dot. Hello, Buzz. Like, I thought that was great. That guy literally. I'm glad that later they gave him his laser shield when the thing hit it and died. Laser shield. I was
my
cool with that.
kids, yeah, my kids
Yeah,
were like laughed out loud every time they said laser shield. My son, still to this day, yells out laser shield for no reason, and he just thinks it's the best thing ever. So,
same.
but I think a lot of the other characters are kind of forgettable. I know you mentioned Bill Hader's in there as well too. Um, Not enough Bill Hader.
For 5 minutes.
I didn't even hear Bill Hader. I
I
just heard.
heard him as he was wrapped up in tentacles from the fucking crash planet that Buzz Lightyear couldn't take off on, but fucking Tom Cruise would have.
I think that they could have gotten anyone. I wonder why Bill Hader was that particular voice. If he did some of the writing or animation or anything like
I mean,
that, or
Pixar has their peeps. Bill Hader's in so many other Pixar movies,
oh, is
you
he?
know.
I had no idea.
He's in Monsters University, Inside Out, Finding Dory. He's even in Toy Story 4.
Oh shit! Yeah, he certainly is. Didn't even know that. Just until right now. Just read it right now.
I mean, Bill Hader is an excellent voice actor.
Efren Ramirez, is that Pedro from Napoleon Dynamite as Airman Diaz?
Absolutely is.
It is. Okay.
Absolutely is Pedro.
You know who he sounded like to me? It was Luis from Ant-Man. Gosh, Michael Pena. It sounded like Michael Pena to me. I might have enjoyed him more in that role.
I think you just said, "Oops, wrong Hispanic guy."
No, I mean it looked like Michael Pena and it sounded like Michael Pena, so I just kind of assumed that it was.
Maybe they couldn't get Michael Pena, and they're like, "Well, I mean, we get Pedro." But fun fact: Michael Pena is from Chicago, while Efren Ramirez is not. He is from California, of Salvadorian descent. Salvadorian parents, where Michael Pena is. I'm under the impression he is more Mexican, so it would have sounded different.
Wait, you're under the impression that he's more Mexican?
I'm Googling hard and I can't find it.
We're gonna say what people are now on this podcast.
The accent is way different though.
Yeah, no, I agree. It's just funny the way that
I had it and I lost it. Yeah,
Oh,
Mexico.
man.
He's from Mexico. His
Okay.
parents are from Mexico.
Okay.
I was right.
I'm not saying you were. It's just funny the way that I declare him Mexican. There's a racial draft, and he's Mexican. So
that was an excellent episode of Chappelle Show, by the way. And shout out to Marist High School, the alma mater of a Michael Pena.
Get out of here! Shut up.
Mm-hmm.
You know that's where I went, right?
Yeah. He attended Marist and Hubbard. But yeah, he went to
Uh,
he's a he graduated from Hubbard but went to Marist.
what year did he graduate from Hubbard from? Or
Like
year?
76, well before you, my friend.
Really?
Yeah,
He's
he's
that old?
yeah, yeah.
I don't picture him being that old because I mean,
Or
like,
no. He was born in 76. Why is this IMDb bio so just hard to read?
why is it so wrong? You mean, accurate, but you're just
Mm,
reading the wrong
Yeah, no.
dates?
Michael Pena is almost a decade older than you, sir.
Is he?
He was born in 76. He is the better part of a decade older than you. I love that we've gone on this complete tangent on an actor that is not even close to this movie.
That's okay.
Oh, yes. We just need to
Because
fill time.
that actor is better than a lot of the actors in this movie.
He's better than every other actor that went to Marist.
So, what scene did you like the most out of this movie?
I That's hard. It's hard because it was all just kind of some pretty awesome action, but then just like meh on the storyline. The storyline is the part that really bugs me about this movie. Like they're talking about all these different things he's trying to do with the crystals, and they have him in a different spaceship every time, but they don't tell you what the differences in the spaceship are. And essentially, there are none because he could still pilot all of them. There's no way somebody from a 60 years later, or how many years was it between jumps? Like 20 years?
Um, 4?
No, it got longer.
Oh, maybe it did, but
I mean,
because
regardless,
yeah,
there's no
first one was
way
like 4 years.
there's no way that he's just jumping into a 4-year new plane and like, oh yeah. No, the evolution over the years, it would have been completely different. You've been flying it like goddamn Flight of the Navigator, but no, they just did the same thing. They didn't evolve. They made a laser shield, but they didn't evolve. So I think the opening where they did the most mass fan service was my favorite, where he's talking about the spongy terrain and he's logging. Like that got me. I was like, yeah, I'm going to be excited about this. And then it was all downhill from there.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think that there was any. I think I agree with you there to where the rest of the movie, there wasn't a whole lot in terms of like, oh my gosh, this is like the penultimate scene right here. So I think they peaked very early with that first initial scene, the one that I mentioned earlier about with the little sword doohickey lightsaber knockoff that they had. I thought it was really cool. And there was some cool action at the end, but I think that first one was the very best scene, um, in my opinion. From an acting perspective, you had the whole interaction with him and Hawthorne, which I really liked. Where I did like the scene where she's saying goodbye in his little goodbye video. So that was pretty for a kids movie. I think it did it very well, and I honestly don't think this is necessarily a kids movie. I mean, the tone of it was a lot more serious. And yes, there were references to Toy Story, and there was like the little references that kids are gonna laugh at, like laser shields and socks shooting a blow dart at someone and stuff like that. But yeah, I don't think this is a kids movie. So I probably liked it more than if it were directed more towards kids. I was perfectly fine for it. But um, what about the scene you liked the least? Was there any scene that you were just like, this is god awful? Why am I watching this?
The Zerg reveal sucked to me. Like the penultimate like clash was like, and it ended too quickly in my opinion. There wasn't like in Toy Story 2, there was a back and forth and all this stuff, and it seemed lame. I don't know. I just didn't enjoy it. Maybe I
Wait,
was already disengaged at that point.
I think
Like,
so because you're talking about like a very short interaction or battle between him. They fought on the ship for
yeah,
quite a bit of time, and then they fought on Buzz's ship for quite a bit of time. So I think
I
you
don't
just
know.
like tuned
They
out,
they
man.
just lost me with the Zerg thing and Buzz versus Buzz. They lost me. They lost me big in the ending.
So
It may have been quite a bit of time, but I obviously ignored it.
okay. And so did you watch this when you watch a movie on streaming, or for like the podcast,
Mhm.
do you stay pretty attentive throughout, or do you like get up in the middle, go to the bathroom without pausing it, or
No, I
like that?
even the little guy didn't sit through it, so I like stopped it, rewound it, went back to it, rewatched parts of it and the whole thing,
Hmm.
and still like it just didn't. It is one of the least engaging endings for me, and maybe because I was just like, why? Why do you need to make it this hard for him to be Buzz Lightyear, Star Command? Like, why? Why do we need to get? Why is it that? Why is the hero's journey so difficult in this movie? Almost more difficult than any other movie, and it's like it's not a long movie. It's an hour and 40 minutes, and it seemed like his hero's journey was too long.
Interesting.
And maybe because they didn't do a lead up for his character, they just jumped you in the present and only started with his failures. But he, you know, he eventually got his team of misfits together and all that, but I don't know. It just it didn't get me. Didn't love it.
So I think we both agree that the best character is Socks the cat.
1,000,000%.
Who's the worst character?
Tie between Buzz and Zurg because they're the same person.
Really? That's so.
Taika. Let's just give it to Taika.
Uh, I mean, you're not even serious about Buzz, right?
You got such potential to do something great and epic, and it should be over the top epic, right? Like 80s sci-fi crazy epic, right? Because the in real time when this movie came out, it was in what, 1994? This movie did not follow 1994 space hero shit. This movie was like fucking failure ass spaceman.
Similar to Star Wars, right? They
I mean,
failed
similar to
all
the,
the.
I would say more similar to like it was more similar to the sequels than the
I'll even
actual
go.
Star Wars movies.
All right, let me. And I'm spitballing right here
Mm-hmm.
on. I'm gonna say like New Hope is just like this, because of the fact that Luke fails in the sense that his aunt and uncle are dead because he went to go fuck around in the desert. So he fails there.
He didn't go
Um,
fuck around in the desert. He went and got the droid.
yeah, fucking around, staying out too late before the sand or while the sand people came out there.
I disagree.
Well, I mean, you can disagree all you want. I'm going
Mhm.
to tell you how it is. So, with all right, so he fails there, right? He
Mhm.
fucking fails with the whole just at the cantina. Can't just not be like a wallflower. He ends up getting into shit. So Obi-Wan has to cut someone's arm off. Failure to obey and failure to not cause trouble, right? So there you go. In
Did
the,
he cause trouble?
I mean, he was being
He was ordering a drink.
a little too close, man. You're too close.
It's a bar.
Hey, man, when you get too close to someone at a bar, people throw down. So
Do
I
they,
don't
or
know.
do you have a good time? I don't know what kind of bars you go to.
I'm just saying, like, it's very. If you're gonna nitpick on Buzz, I'm just gonna make a parallel because of the hero's journey. It's not like Luke had that great of a hero's journey in A New Hope, and I love the New Hope. I love it. That Star Wars is something I've watched in triple digits, but I mean to really nitpick on this, I think it is a little unfair because this movie is better than.
But this movie doesn't follow the hero's journey.
It doesn't have to. Why does it have to? It's a
Because,
movie about Buzz Lightyear, a moron in Toy Story. It doesn't need to follow
I'm just
a
saying you're
hero's journey.
comparing it to Star Wars, which is the quintessential hero's journey, and trying to draw parallels when it doesn't follow that plan. It's poorly written. It's a terrible story.
I don't know about that.
Oh man, it is the worst Toy Story. I'll tell you that.
Maybe it is poorly written, but is it that? Maybe it's excellently written because of the fact that Buzz was never that much of a hero.
Why would the character be so popular if the character sucked?
Do you think kids really follow the hero's journey?
I'm just saying, what's the last sci-fi, like the Buzz Lightyear toy per se? What's the crappiest movie you've seen on a bedspread in the 80s, my dude?
I don't know. Oh,
Just saying, man. He-Man wasn't shitty.
oh, dude, He-Man was absolutely shitty.
Oh no, He-Man was awesome.
Have you seen it recently? Like, no joke. Have you seen the old 80s? Or was He-Man even in the 70s? Was it 70s?
He-Man was the 80s, the early 80s.
Okay. They are early ass. That's what they are. Like, I tried watching it the other day with my wife, and I'm just like, what the fuck? Did I actually like this stuff? Because it's god awful. It's like
Disagree. It's campy and hilarious.
it sounds like, but it wasn't meant to be. That's for sure.
It
That's
was
the thing
meant
that
to sell
find
toys.
you find it.
The cartoon came out to support the toy line, not the other way around.
Okay. But that doesn't dispute the fact that it sucks. That's like
I
you had
think
like
of
a 80-year-old guy voicing He-Man. It sounded so bad. It was really bad to me. I don't know.
they
And
brought
so,
him back for the Masters Revelations. He's definitely still around.
well, he must be like 120 because he sounded like he was 70 years old in the He-Man cartoon.
Mm.
Back to the least favorite character. I completely disagree that Buzz could be the least favorite character in this when there's so much hot garbage of other characters. You got two people on the crew, um, Taika's character and then Darby. I was fine with Izzy. You also have Ivan, which could be viewed as an awful character, or even like what's his name, Laser Shield guy. He would have been a piss poor character, at least in terms of likability. But that would have been for my least favorite. I think it probably would have been Laser Shield dude, just because of the fact that man, give Buzz a shot. I get it.
No, not give Buzz a shot. They gave Buzz many shots.
Yeah,
Literally enough shots that a generation was stuck on the planet, and they gave up on being rescued and said, you know what? It's not that bad here. We should have a laser shield.
yeah. So that's my least favorite character, is the guy that gave up on the main character of the story, which isn't that hard of a pick, So I'm fine with my pick for.
He was the one that was realistic about the failure of the failure in this movie.
Why do you get so angry about the main character of the story?
Because I feel like you've made this whole thing about this character that was basically a big failure. Oh, it's like the argument that Indiana Jones had zero effect on Raiders of the Lost Ark at all, because all the Nazis died and would have died with or without him there, because they would have opened the Ark of the Covenant and they would have fucking died. Most of those people that Buzz crashed their fucking ship, they died.
Still,
But instead of dying in a fiery crash, they died of old fucking age on an alien planet with tentacles and bugs.
Dude, so is Indiana Jones the worst character? No, the answer is no.
He's the least impactful character.
The answer is no, though.
Okay.
That's the flat out answer. That's the answer is no. He's not the least favorite character, right? I mean, that's pretty plain in sight. Okay. You think that Indiana Jones is the worst character?
No,
And
no, I love Indiana Jones.
then you prove my point. You
But
can't have
Buzz
the main
is more
character.
useless than Indiana Jones.
Is he your least favorite character in the movie?
I mean, obviously not.
Then what, dude? We argued for like 10 minutes about that, and I was telling you that it's not possible, and yet you still stick to that argument.
Yeah, no, the hypocrisy is strong with this podcast.
Oh
Some
my
days it's
God.
you, some days it's me, but we always have one.
Oh, but at least I stick to my guns and it makes sense in my head. I don't
I
know, man.
disagree. I
I don't
disagree
know.
heavily.
I don't know.
Mm,
All right, so let's go
Maggie
on
Gyllenhaal.
to what's that?
Maggie Gyllenhaal. That's all I have to say.
I'm not alone in that. That's the funny thing about that. So
I'm
whoever,
sure I'm not alone in being disappointed in Buzz Lightyear.
dude, we just have a different understanding of characters, I guess, because Katie Holmes sucks ass as an actress. I don't know. She's awful.
And Buzz Lightyear sucks ass in this movie as a space ranger. He's
As a space
worse
ranger,
than,
not a character.
than Bill Hader. He is worse than Bill Hader.
Oof. I don't know, man. You're saying two different things. So I don't know. We just got to stick to the least favorite character, not Buzz. That's not. And you even just said it's not Buzz. So
I don't know. I feel like Buzz is the hurtful part of this movie, but it's okay.
But is he your least favorite character?
If it wasn't for Taika's worst Taika performance ever.
That's all you have to say.
It's the way the character was. It's all about writing, right? That's all it is. Either way, the writing in this movie absolutely pissed me off.
I'm flat out saying that you answered the question and then you threw in a disclaimer. If it wasn't for this, like, well, but it was. That's it.
I understand that. I absolutely understand it.
Laser Shield and Taika are our two least favorite characters. So you had mentioned earlier, would you have liked to see someone from Toy Story make a cameo in this movie in whatever type of fashion? And what do you think would be the most realistic?
How were there not the little aliens in this movie?
Oh,
no, not
dude,
where the fuck were the aliens, bro? Where?
I never thought about that. Maybe it'll be on the next adventure.
I don't want there to be a next adventure with Sappy McCry-year.
Oh, man.
So your badgering had made me look at something, right? Because obviously I was frustrated by this movie's writing. Like when it comes down to it, the writing is the thing that lost me in a big bad way. There are legitimately, I'm not kidding, 3 story by credits, 2 screenplay by credits, and 3 additional screenplay and material by credits. So there are one person is listed more than, or 2 people are listed more than once. So there's 7 people that have touched this movie. That's why it's written bad.
I never said it wasn't. I don't have a problem with the writing because you know why? It's geared towards kids and kids.
But the Pixar movies are so tight normally.
And
this was just ew. Just ew.
I think it's because I never watched these types of movies growing up as a kid. I don't expect much from them. And so probably that's why I'm not like it seems like your feelings are hurt because of this movie.
I wanted it was like, when has there been a bad Toy Story movie? Legitimately, when has there been a bad Toy Story movie? Maybe Toy Story 3, Schindler's Toy Box was a little like sad at the end, but then they came back with Toy Story 4 and put in all of these extra random toy like references and stuff. So all of those movies are so good. And then there's this.
All right. So let's jump right into Toy Story then. Let's rank Toy Stories along with. Do you want to put this movie in that or just leave it completely off the list?
I mean, it's number 5 for me if we're going to start with 5. So yeah, 5, Lightyear.
Okay.
Period.
Number 5 for me would be Toy Story 2.
Really?
Yeah, Toy Story 2. Mainly just because I didn't like the Prospector that much. I hate Newman. So the
I was
fact
gonna
that
ask if it was Newman.
it was Newman. Um, I just didn't necessarily like that particular storyline. It's not a bad movie, right? So let me throw that out there. It's not a bad movie.
Mhm.
Disclaimer once again, I never watched any of these Toy Story movies growing up. Obviously, Toy Story 4 just came out recently, but
Mhm.
I would say I've watched all of the Toy Stories within the past 2 years, and
Oh,
that's because of my kids.
would it
I've seen them
surprise
multiple
you?
times.
Would it surprise you to know that I have seen every Toy Story movie except for Lightyear in a theater?
It
Once,
wouldn't
three in a row.
it wouldn't surprise me because you're so damn passionate and shitting on Lightyear that you must have been a fanboy for Toy Story.
I didn't see the original in the theater when it came out. Um, I don't think. I don't think. I think that was like a VHS tape for me. But two I saw in the theater, and then when three came out, my wife and I went to a marathon of one, two, and three together. Um, and then four we saw in the theater. Because that's when we saw everything in the theater. Back in like the pre-kids, pre-COVID days, when we just went to Hollywood Boulevard and in Woodridge and had drinks and food at the theater. It was amazing. It's like, oh, kill a couple margs and watch a Toy Story movie. This sounds like an amazing idea for a Thursday. Um, so five Lightyear. You gave your five. My four is Toy Story 3, Schindler's Toy Box. The ending when they're gonna kill everybody, it's like, no, don't do that. I didn't
Anything else?
I
Is
didn't
it
need that.
just because you didn't like the sadness?
I didn't like the sadness. It was much more sad than the what you call it, like dying in this movie, or Buzz's buddy being dead.
Okay.
Like that didn't. This was just like you're good. You're literally gonna incinerate like incinerator. That's where you're taking. This is getting dark.
Hmm. Okay. Why don't let's just list all of them because I think it's gonna be so polarizing between the two. So why don't
Okay.
you list your 5 to 1?
Okay. So Lightyear 3. I'm in between 2 and 4. At 2 and 3. I can interchange them. I love the Wayne Knight character in that movie, the Al's Toy Barn thing, the integration of the video game into it.
That
Like
was cool. The video game
all
thing
that
was
was
cool.
great. And the video game itself actually was pretty rocking. And then they released the Disney ride, the Buzz Lightyear shooters after that, right? So many 99999 scores later, you got to love that. Um, so I liked Toy Story 4, not for the Bo Peep storyline, but for like they just threw so many things in, like the strong arming dummies, and just like there were new, fresh Toy Story jokes in it, and I enjoyed that. Right? They got new, fresh actors to pair with the old ones. They got Key and Peele to be the ducky and the bunny that was tucked together. Like all that worked for me. So I'll say 4, then 2, and 1 is obviously the best.
Okay. For me, it would go for 2, 1.
1 is number 4 for you.
Yeah,
You think Lightyear is better than Toy Story?
I like the action, dude. Cartoons aren't my thing, so um, and I honestly think Buzz. So hold on, let me go through the list of everything. So you got 2, 1, Lightyear, and then 4, and then 3. Those are the orders for me. So the reasoning as to why I have Toy Story 1 ranked so low is that, and it's not. I mean, I'll sit and watch it with my kids, but I'm not turning it on myself. That's for sure. Um, Buzz Lightyear is so goddamn annoying in that movie. And I feel like I'm Tom Hanks, Woody in that movie because I'm like, this guy's a freaking moron. Like, you're just a toy. Stop fucking around and thinking that you're real because you're obviously not. After you try to fly and you bounce off a ball and you're obviously not flying, you still think you're flying.
He was falling with style.
Yeah. And he's a moron with style
And then he was
because
Mrs. Nesbit. Ah, best Toy Story joke all time. I'm Mrs. Nesbit. Are you kidding me?
it was so frustrating for me because I felt for Woody, where it was just like, God, you got replaced by this moron. Jeez, this is awful. Like he's gonna be. You got to find some way to kick him off the side of the dresser or something, or into the yard.
There's only one frustrating part for me about the first Toy Story movie, and it's Andy's mom. Andy's mom sucks in all these movies, right? Like there's this fan theory that she's the one that abandoned Jesse, which is why Andy had a Jesse hat. If you look at the hat he had, it was a Jesse hat. It was his mom's Jesse hat. But the thing about the mom in Toy Story 1 is, like, you have kids, you've also done a cross-country move or a move in general, right? The first thing they talk about in the first Toy Story is moving buddy. If you don't got one, get one, right? She lets him completely redecorate his room the week before a move. No, let's leave the new Buzz Lightyear comforter in its fucking box and we'll move, and then you can do it in your new room. Like, why are we redecorating Andy's room a week before a move? No sense. Andy's mom, irresponsible single mother.
To all you single moms out there.
And then she tries to give away his toys. The worst. The worst. I know you can't empathize with that, but I can.
Oh, dude, I can. I've got stories for my mom hiding my toys when I was grounded, and then not remembering where she put the toys. So I got fucked either way.
Dude, that's what happened to my N64. My childhood N64 was, I was grounded from it, and then it magically disappeared.
Yeah, did you ever find out what actually happened to it?
No. When my parents moved, I was digging through all their shit. And then when they it moved twice since it magically disappeared. I have no fucking clue. Like, it's gone. Absolutely gone. My wife was kind enough to buy me an N64 like well early in our relationship so we can play drunken Mario Kart. But regardless, like, I still have that one. We'll never get rid of it. But like, childhood video games gone many. Oh, sad moments. Sad moments. No, nothing I can't buy back, so I'm totally fine with it. But like, I think there's a lot of people that are like, man, my parents gave away all my good shit.
Yeah, I never had a problem in terms of Andy's mom. For the rest of the movies, I totally was super frustrated with Buzz, and he did get better throughout the other movies. But I thought the way, kind of seeing it in my adult eyes and not seeing the other movies before, I thought that, Buzz is second in command. He'll shine if Woody's not around. And that never really was the case. He kind of did, where he'd pull his little voice string and he just like went by what that said in Toy Story 4, I think it was. But it's just one of those things where it's like, yeah, he's a moron in pretty much all of these. And that's why Jesse's in charge at the end. But I wanted to say the reason why I like 3 so much is there are so many things that I like about it. And I laughed as an adult. I was like, oh my God, this is pretty fucking hilarious. So you've got Michael Keaton as Ken. Anytime Ken and Barbie are on screen, it's like they steal the show. It's just like even their mannerisms of walking, and then when Ken does his little fashion show, hilarious. And they just like rag on Ken because they think he's effeminate, and it's just like one of those things where like it's such a funny thing that, and he calls out to it. It's like, I just like to accessorize. I like to dress well. It's just funny. And then the Lotso story was cool too, because I liked the movie's serious tone. And I thought it was like cool because like, oh my God, they are gonna incinerate all these freaking toys. Like they were playing the crazy music and everything to where it's like, yep, this is the end for it. And I thought as an adult, like, oh my God, how are they getting out of this? And so very rarely from a cartoon am I ever that invested to be like, oh wow, this is serious. Like, so I was down for it. But Ken, Barbie, fantastic. Lotso, I think that was the guy from Superman, right?
It
Luther?
was Ned
Not,
Beatty.
I'm sorry, not Luther. Yeah, Ned Beatty.
It
Ned
was,
Beatty.
yeah, it was what was his name in Superman? Otis. It was
Otis,
Otis.
yes.
It was
Yeah.
Otis.
And I don't think he's around anymore.
Bobby
So
from Deliverance.
yeah,
Um,
he
Feel
was
like a pig.
he was a
Um,
good character. I liked him.
no, Ned Beatty, R.I.P. Last year. He's been dead for just over a year.
Oh wow. Okay.
He was 83 when he died, though. So
Oh
long life, big
yeah.
bucket of win. Also, speaking your Toy Story, was it R.I.P. Don Rickles? Died in 2017, but Mr. Potato Head himself.
I mean, if we're going down the list, Mrs. Potato Head's dead as well.
Oh, Estelle Harris. Oh, that was just recently. Too soon.
Yeah.
Too
The
soon.
original.
She died 20 days away from her 94th birthday, though.
Oh wow.
So good on her. Good on her.
George's mom in Seinfeld as well.
Yeah. Oh God, I was watching Seinfeld today. That's a show you could turn on at any moment, and it's just amazing.
I mean, if we're just going down the list of like people that were in Toy Story that are dead, I don't know if we want to.
Oh man, that. It's a sad. It's almost as sad as the end of Toy Story 3, Schindler's Toy Box, because they were incinerating everybody. I know. That's why you're just kind of a. It makes sense because you hate toys, so it makes sense.
No, I like toys.
Toy Story 3, good movie. The two highlights for me was the monkey with symbols. Like I like the tie-in of like the obscure toys or the random stuff. That's why I like Toy Story 4 so much over 3, because of the sad part, but also the Spanish function on Buzz.
Oh yeah, hilarious.
I am
hilarious.
So disappointed. So my son has we got him a Buddy and was a wooden a Buzz and Woody at like a random like toy flea market we went to one day. We're like, let's get these for like under $5. He's gonna absolutely massacre them, right? So I got one that it was like apparently like not I thought it was just like a regular Buzz, but it's like the deluxe one that talks a ton, and like when you open the thing, it's got a talk track. It's not just the buttons. It like has its own personality almost. And there's like a demo mode and on and off. And I was like, you put a demo mode and all this crazy shit into it. You couldn't give it just the Spanish part. Just let it sing, "You've Got a Friend in Me" in Spanish, and I'm good.
That's a movie I actually probably would turn on by myself just because there's so many funny scenes in that. And you know what? It's a very touching ending where if Toy Story, the series ended at Toy Story 3, it would make sense because there you go. Andy's going off to college. He's giving his toys off to someone else who we hope will treat the toys with as much love and respect as he did. And you know what? When they made Toy Story 4, they shit on Toy Story because is it Bonnie? Is that her name?
Yeah.
Bonnie doesn't give a fuck about those
Bonnie
toys.
Sucks. You know who's gonna give a fuck when he gets out of college and hits like 25 and realizes that Woody goes for fucking $1,500 on eBay? Andy, that dumb piece of shit who always had the hat. He had all the fucking accessories of his goddamn just apparently crazy expensive, hard to find Woody. Fucking well, and he had a Jessie. Oh my, and he had the whole almost the set.
How come Andy just like never questioned as to where those came from?
because his mom probably just bought him a bunch of that. I don't know if you ever, I don't know if you were, I grew up until I was like 10 as an only child with a majority single mom. You don't know where your toys come from. You just get spoiled sometimes. And Andy was entitled as I am. He had the privilege. So yeah, I couldn't tell you where half my toys came from. He was just like, they're in the car. Remember at the end of Toy Story, they were in the car the whole time. Fucking idiot.
Exactly.
He could have looked out his window and saw Woody on the barbecue. My son watched the movie the other day. That's the only reason I pulled that reference.
Speaking of the barbecue, so another thing I like about Toy Story 3 is that they bring Sid back in.
Yeah, and make him a garbage man.
Yeah. Yeah. Wearing the same old shit that he was when he was a kid. So, but you know what? He seemed happy. He seemed happy being a garbage man. I was perfectly fine with seeing him, but I thought that was a nice little nod. And
but that's the thing. That's Pixar. All these movies were at this level, all the references, all the callbacks, all the cameos of Sid, things like that. And then there was fucking Lightyear.
I thought there were plenty of nods and homages to Toy Story. So that's why I thought like, oh, okay, well, that's fine. And maybe it's because I'm such a casual Toy Story viewer that's where, to me, I was like, it's enough. It's fine. You know, I'm not like a huge Toy Story fan, and they hit those same exact notes that they hit in Toy Story. So for me, okay, cool.
I'm gonna be honest with you. I had no idea I was this big of a Toy Story fan. Or maybe I was just annoyed by terrible screenwriting. Either way, 5. And not the good 5, the negative 5. In case you were wondering, Lightyear cannot do this all day.
Yeah. For me, I can't do it all day either. And it's not because I don't enjoy the movie. It's just one of those things, man. Like, it falls in that category of animation, which I don't really rewatch a whole lot of animation. The only animation that I've rewatched over the years has been South Park, Simpsons, Family Guy, Rick and Morty. Those 4.
Spider-Verse.
Yeah,
I saw
you're
the
right.
theater twice and watched it a shitload at home.
So, okay, you know what? I didn't even think about that. In my head, Marvel is excluded from that list because I'll probably watch a whole bunch of Marvel animation. So kind of going down that rabbit hole. I mean, I've seen Hulk versus
PG.
Wolverine. It was PG? Okay. Really? Okay.
Yeah. But this is not the same studio, but the same parent company. Or no, it's not. That was Sony.
No, Sony.
My bad.
That's all right.
I was wrong. And I'm going to sit here in my wrongness and be wrong. But you know what I'm not wrong about? Lightyear being not good. But the nice thing about this opportunity and this platform that we have that people can listen or not is we get to air our thoughts, our grievances, and give our opinions, whether they're well thought out or whether they're petulant, of which we have many, and they are both.
I think that wraps it up for this episode. I am Dan, the Part-Time Avenger. That's Mark, the Resident Jedi.
If y'all have opinions on this and want to tell us we're wrong, tell us we're right. Reach out to us and let us know what we should watch next, what we shouldn't watch again, what you'll unsubscribe if we talk about. Want to send to find the P.O. box to send Dan toys to make up for his youthless toy time. You can send him some Terminator stuff. You can hit us up on Instagram and Twitter. Instagram, it's I Can Do This All Day podcast. And Twitter, it's at ICDT all day. But let us know what you think. Give us thoughts for episodes. We are excited for fan interaction and recommendations. Dan, you got anything to add to that? Anything you want to hear from the people?
We just do it for the fans and the fact that we just need to get away from our normal everyday lives. So if you want to join us on that journey, we would love to have you, and we are happy that we have you. Shout out to all of our international listeners. I don't know if that's even the right thing, but all of our listeners across the world. We have people in the UK, Ireland, India, France, Germany. Thank you very much for listening, and thank you to all those in the United States. Until next time, we'll see y'all later.
Like and subscribe and hit us up.